Hey everybody, welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, your only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports. I'm Sports Director Brandon Bossert.
What is up? It is yours truly, Sports Anchor Devin J. Martin. Welcome into the show. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I know, Brandon, we've gotten a whole bunch of football games that just wrapped up. A lot of games that didn't go the way I thought they were going to go.
Yeah, we pick our games every single week. It wasn't our best week this week, but you know what? That makes it fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
We
predictable.
don't know who's going to win these games.
Yeah,
and we saw some amazing comebacks tonight, and we saw some incredible games just in general, some great endings. Let's start off with our game of the night up in Stevensville. Decatur, Kent Island are two top teams in this week's power rankings.
Yeah, two of our three undefeated teams in the Bayside going at it. Kent Island is looking to prove that they're just as good as they were last season. Seahawks got something to give tonight because they are trying to prove that they're by far the best team in the Bayside, and this could be a possible future playoff matchup.
Could be.
Yeah, it was a really good game on both ends.
Decatur would command in the first quarter, 3-0 game. The Seahawks in the red zone. Jamie and Purnell jukes his way in for 6. And Decatur, good start right here as they get the opening touchdown. The first quarter, all Decatur, but this drive a little different. Bryson Coleman meet Kareem Bolden. They connect. Bolden is taking off down the sidelines, tiptoes his way in for the score, and they led 17-0 after one.
Yeah, but those Kent Island Bucks would definitely not die down like that. They wouldn't lie down like that. They definitely would come back, and that's what they started to do.
Beautiful pass.
You see right there, Gavin Henry gives it to Tucker Claxton for the score, and just like that, a 17-0 score becomes 17-12. Now, the Seahawks will make adjustments during halftime, and boy, did it work. They held the Bucks to just 3 points in the entire second half, and the final nail in the coffin, a beautiful throw to Kareem Bolden. Decatur stays unbeaten, beating Kent Island 33-15.
To jump out to a big lead against a team like Kent Island, like that, can be a little dangerous. And, of course, they're not going anywhere. So they come right back like champions do because we know what type of players and program that is. And I'm glad our kids were able to kind of weather that storm. Halftime couldn't have come better at a better time. We resettled down, and they did an absolutely unbelievable job.
I give a lot of respect to Kent Island because I know they're hungry and I know they're going to, we'll see them again in the playoffs. And they're a very, very tough team. And next week we got another undefeated team with North Carolina, but I'm glad, it's in Berlin.
Bryson setting us up really well with that one. That's right. Next week, North Carolina. So Decatur right in the meat of that schedule right now.
Yeah,
Kent Island, North Carolina next week. Took care of business tonight. First win in Stevensville since 2007 for
these
for
2
Decatur.
weeks, Brandon, are the time for them to really assert their dominance throughout the entire Bayside. And I think the one thing that stuck out to me, obviously, Decatur's offense has been great. It was great again yet today. The defense held Kent Island to 3 points in the second half. When you're playing defense like that, I mean, what can you do?
Right.
What can you do if you're the other team on the other side?
Now, we haven't given Decatur as much credit on the defensive side. It's easy to talk about Decatur with the offense, with all the weapons that they have. But for this defense to only give up 8 points in their first 4 games of play, go out there against the Bucks, who can pass, who have a physical O-line, who have
also
a great
average
running
30
game.
points as well themselves, 30 plus points per game during the season.
Exactly. And Kent Island's also got a pretty good defense as well. But Decatur, to go out there with those halftime adjustments and to hold them to just 3 points, very impressive by Decatur. They are going to go deep in the playoffs this time around. All right, now let's move on to Parkside hosting the Easton Warriors. Low-scoring affair here. Warriors strike first, get down to the red zone, but they have to settle for 3. Parkside on the attack on the next drive. Handoff to the back, and just like a bumper car bouncing away from the lineman, he's going. Can he go? No! The shoestring tackle. And they're down near the red zone. That's okay, because there's Cameron Green down there in the end zone, ready to make the catch for the touchdown. Parkside grabs the win, 14-9. Good win for the Parkside Rams.
Now we're going to move on to another 5-0 team. Bryson Coleman had already said it before, North Carolina. And arguably, Brandon, the Bulldogs might be the team that's actually shown the most improvement from last season to this season.
I would agree with that,
yeah,
definitely.
They're going for 6-0. And it was homecoming, and you can see those floats right there, the homecoming fans. the home fans,
Impressive.
they wanted one thing and one thing only for the Bulldogs to sink the Clippers. And out the gate, that's exactly what North Carolina did. Tyson Weber has the open seam, and he's got nothing but green grass ahead of him. That's a 55-yard touchdown run right there. Bennett was in for a long game on both ends of the ball. On offense, Sakai Smolin was having a hard time finding anywhere to go right there. The Bulldogs' D-line was all in his face all night. The Clippers were just outclassed on both sides of the ball. They struggled to move it on the O, and they struggled to stop the run on defense. Ihmir Smith gets the handoff right there. That's a first down, but then the Bulldogs call his name once again, and he breaks wide open. Look at that. Wide open. Sakai Smolin tries to catch him, but Smith is long gone. And pose on them, young man. That's another win right there. North Carolina blows out Bennett 57-20.
What's more impressive than some of these athletic feats by these kids is being able to find the camera at the right time.
Yeah, to celebrate. I knew he was running
We
right
see it
at
at
me.
least once a game. All right, go ahead,
Absolutely.
Devin.
Yeah, I know he was happy to get that on camera. Now, let's go to another 1A matchup between the Colonels and the Eagles. Snow Hill trying to go on the road and knock off Colonel Richardson, but Hunter Ewing wasn't going to let that happen. He dropped him in the backfield, but Snow Hill's not dead just yet. In the second quarter, Tyler Reddick dimes up Saheem Collick, and he mosses the defender.
Nice grab.
That's a nice grab, but it wasn't enough because the Eagles needed more of that on offense because they were trailing, and the Colonel's D line was just all over Tyler Reddick. He gets a sack right there, and eventually the good defense would lead to good offense. Elijah Palmer gets all the way down to the 1 yard line, and it looks like he's going to be able to dive it in, but it gets called back. Doesn't matter. Colonel would get the next score right there, and the next play would be Derek Mitchell to get it in himself, and the score would be 55-28. Colonel Richardson looking like they can go for a three-peat in the 1A. They beat Cambridge last week, and now they beat Snow Hill, the two challengers in the 1A. Colonel looks like they're going to be unopposed in the Bayside's 1A.
All right, and a couple other final scores. Queen Anne's 56-12 over Kent County. Cambridge South Dorchester 28-14. That means Y-High at 1-5 right now. But let's talk about Cambridge South Dorchester. 1 point away from beating those Colonel Richardson Colonels during the regular season a few weeks ago. Colonel and Cambridge, those are two fantastic teams in the 1A North right now. They run the 1A right now. Cambridge, Toby Pierre has done a fantastic job in his first few years with the Vikings, and they are looking really, really sharp out there.
And to be fair, the game against Colonel, you could say that they outplayed Colonel Richardson. It took a clutch 2-point conversion for Colonel to take that W, and they got to get a stop on the goal line where the pass was just dropped by one of the receivers. He was wide open, and that's why they lost to Colonel. So they could have won that game. We could be saying that Cambridge is the top team in the 1A, but
you could make the case that Cambridge is the top team.
But at the end of the day,
right
Colonel has beaten Cambridge this year, and they beat Snow Hill, and they won the 1A the last 2 years. So right now,
let's see what happens come playoff time. I think 1A is going to be interesting in come playoff time. Got to move on to Delaware now. Harvest Bowl week, Smyrna and Middletown, Devin.
Yeah, this could be a 3A championship preview.
It really could.
These two teams were great last year. Obviously, Smyrna's the defending title champions, and these two teams are evenly matched this year as well. Now, Eagles will trail late in the first. Handoff goes to Tim Yancey. Huge hole, and he's gone. That's a 26-yard touchdown run. Smyrna decided to go for the 2-point try, and they don't get it. That may have cost them later in the game. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but they trail 7-6 in the second quarter.
Yeah,
now,
that was Drew Marks right there, the freshman quarterback rolling to his right. Smyrna's going with Jacob Tiberi and Drew Marks back and forth with the quarterbacks right now. Drew Marks, just a freshman, threw that interception in the red zone. We see the touchdown right here, down 14-12. The earthquake once again. Can Smyrna get in there? No, you see Middletown's defense gobble up that hole quickly on the left side. The thing about Smyrna, last week, they converted just 2 of 6 on the earthquake on 2-point conversions. Today against Middletown, 0 for 2.
Yeah, and
you don't see that with Smyrna the last few years. So one thing that could be a weakness for Smyrna is that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and also it did cost them in this game because if they just went for the extra point the first time, they
don't have a kicker.
It.
They haven't gone for an extra point in 8 years or so.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's going to be a problem. They're the only team without a kicker. Wow, that's definitely going to be something. Now we're going to go up the road in Middletown. Appoquinimink hosting Sussex Central. Central was they were up big in this game, 30-13.
Yep.
But as you know, this is high school football. Anything can happen. The Jaguars wake up in the second half. They score 18 consecutive points. This touchdown puts the Jags in the lead. This touchdown pass right here, 1:24 left in the game, is the game winner right there. Golden Knights are now 3-2. They blow the huge lead, and they're not the only team in the Henle Open to blow a lead tonight. And it looks like Central is going to be on the losing side of this one, 31-30.
Yep, and meanwhile, in the two-way, this was the marquee matchup tonight. Laurel traveling to play Woodbridge, and wow, have the Blue Raiders really turned things around after that 2-win season last year. Woodbridge scoring on 2 fumble return touchdowns in this game in the first half. They used the Wildcat right here, right out of halftime, and it worked. Head coach Marvin Dooley absolutely loving it. His line was the collective MVP of this game. They would try the 2-point conversion right here with Tracy Johnson once again. Smyrna has the earthquake. You can call this earth, wind, and fire right here because Woodbridge, they've got a lot of options in that backfield. They take the 24-0 lead on Laurel. That drive right there ate up 7.5 minutes out of halftime, and that would pretty much be it as Woodbridge goes on to win this game 24-8. So the Bulldogs for Laurel have been struggling against top-tier competition this year.
Yeah, that's what happens when you move up a class. And as I mentioned in the Bayside, I think North Carolina might be the team that showed the most improvement. Definitely in the Henle Open, Woodbridge has got to be the team that's shown the most improvement from last year to this year. Now, we're going to move on. Cape Henle Open facing St. Mark's up in Wilmington, and the Vikings going on the road and pulling off the win tonight. They were definitely impressive. This was a team, St. Mark's, that were one of the best teams in the 3A, but this video courtesy of Kevin Phillips, a freelancer up in northern Delaware. Marquis James, the Old Dominion commit, running back for Cape Henle Open, a 51-yard touchdown to give the Vikings a late lead, and the defense with one final stand at the end. They were really clutch in this game. Jamison Tingle with some clutch throws at quarterback as well. Cape Henle Open is 4-1 on the year, 1-1 in 3A competition. And they were down late in this game, but they had a clutch fourth quarter to take the W over St. Mark's 22-17.
Yep, sure did. Great job by Cape Henle Open. A stunner in Sussex County tonight. The Seaford Blue Jays hosting Indian River. Offense hard to come by in this one. Hey, great penetration right here by number 50 on the line to bring down Vincent Evans, the quarterback. Seaford made a quarterback change a couple of weeks ago, and it has been working. Nothing IR could do right here. Evans back to pass. The lefty fires it deep. Alex Jean in the end zone, hauls it in, going to the ground. Touchdown, Seaford. Blue Jays score the first points of the game. Indian River would return the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown. But listen to this. Wow. Seaford wins over Indian River 23-6.
That is very stunning right there.
None of us had that this week.
No.
We got to rethink the 1A.
We definitely do. Obviously, I had been talking about Indian River all season as maybe being a 1A contender, but when you're losing this Seaford like this, and especially by double digits, you may have to reconsider whether or not they're actually deserving of that contender status. But we will see. It's just one game, so we still have plenty of time to go.
All right, Lake Forest, 28-21 winners over Sussex Tech. First State Military Academy falls to St. Andrews 34-13. And as of right now, no final score for Early College and Brandywine. That'll do it for the A block. We're calling our first time out. When we come back, what's more impressive, 4 goals in soccer or 8 in field hockey? We saw both this week. More fall sports action coming up next on DSI.
My name is Nick McMorris, head coach of North Carolina football, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.